Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Good afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. Today our topic is how to deep clean your database. So today we really want to talk to you guys about how to keep your client information up to date. All right, so as always, just a little housekeeping to get started. The duration of the webinar will be about 30 minutes today. Your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar, so hopefully you guys, you're hearing me now, and if not, you're running to turn your speakers on right now. My microphone is on and everyone else is automatically muted as you join. And then questions will be taken throughout the webinar using the chat box. So if you have any questions, feel free to use that question or chat box. Okay, looks like I might have a question. Oh, no. Okay, good. All right, so we just want to talk about the learning outcomes for today. So hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will understand the importance of collecting accurate client data, okay, be able to let clients enter their own client data with the online CIC or the online client information card, be familiar with how to ensure your client details are always up to date, understand how to check for duplicate client records as well as merge clients, and understand the key reports that will help you maintain this data. All right. So you guys, I just wanted to take a moment and talk about why we should focus on collecting accurate and current client information. And probably most of you are rolling your eyes saying, okay, Angel, we really don't need to know this. We know why this is important. Okay, but I just want to remind some of you because some of us might come from a time where we were a walk-in salon or barbershop and we didn't collect any client data, okay? But today it's really important to be able to do this because of client expectations as well as what we might be able to do with that information. So what I mean by client expectations is our clients expect that if we're not going to be able to service them for their visit or their booking or whatever it might be, that we would contact them to let them know, right? So we don't waste their time. If we don't have correct client information for them, we won't be able to do things like that. Okay, and then of course, for your side, we really need to be able to contact clients, stay in contact with them, and be able to introduce things like promotions that you're having or the app that you're launching. We really want to be able to communicate with them via email or maybe text message for confirmations. So unless we have that correct client information, we really can't do that. Okay, any questions about that, you guys? Again, probably most of you are like, yep, we know. Okay, so what are our goals? Okay, our goals are to confirm client's information regularly. So remember, you guys, shortcuts can actually remind you to be checking for client information. Okay, collect new email addresses at every opportunity that you get. So also remember that each place where you can see a client's name, the client card is available. So in the client screen, if you search for a client, you can click on them and go to their card. If you, from the appointment book, double click on a client, you can get to their card. From the walk-in manager, if you right click against a client, you can get to their card. And also from the point of sale, if you bring up a client at the point of sale, you can also access their card there, right? So there's no excuse why we can't be collecting this information. Okay, and also we need to regularly check for duplicates and clean your database on a regular basis. All right, any questions about our goals? Okay. All right, so adding a new client. Okay, so I just wanted to bring up the client screen here and just go through the steps of adding a new client. You can also see, you guys, over on the right-hand side, I have a hot tip here, and it says you can customize your mandatory fields by going to your Setup, Configuration, General menu, the Clients, and then the New Layout tab. Okay, so this is where you can actually customize what the fields are that you have as mandatory. Okay, so if you click in the main menu and then click on the client's icon, okay, when you select the new button, you get this box down here at the bottom that allows us to add a new client into Shortcuts. Okay, you enter in the details into the appropriate fields, so first name, last name. Okay, and you guys, anything that has the asterisk next to it is your mandatory fields. So again, you can update these mandatory fields and make whatever you want mandatory. So first name, last name, at least one phone number, whether or not they accept marketing, maybe those types of things. Okay, and then once you've entered all the information, you would select done and it adds that client into the database for you. Okay. All right, so once I add the client in to my database, I can then open up the client card. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. Okay, so up here at the top, this section, okay, the client section is used to enter the client's title, so, and then the first name and last name. So if you want to track things like Mr., Mrs., okay, and then the client's first and last name. Okay, the contact details are of course where we can put in phone number as well as email address for our customers. Okay, over on the right-hand side, we have an address section where you can, if for some reason you are wanting to send out mailers and things like that, you can, of course, collect the home address as well as email address, right? Okay, down here you can, in the message field, this is just a place where we can enter some extra information. Okay, and then over here we can also store for the client what refreshment that they like to drink. So if you guys are a salon or barbershop or spa that serves beverages, you can actually say that they like tea or they like coffee and how they like it so that we can have that ready for them when they come in. Okay, you can also see down here at the bottom we have this info section. Okay, so if I click on that info section, it'll take me into the extra info screen. Okay, and then I can collect some extra information about the client, like the occupation. If they're in a club, you can add them into the club and add a club ID here. You can put in their preferred employee. If this isn't something that you guys enter in into the client card, this is something that will automatically populate based upon the person that they see most regularly. Okay, you can also put in a referral method. So you guys, this is also the place where you can specify that other clients are sending in referrals. Okay, so you can choose another client and actually choose somebody in your list. Okay, we'll be able to track their first visit, so the first time that they came in. Okay, we can track marital status and gender and things like that as well. Okay, and then of course you guys down here at the bottom, again, this is where the accept marketing option is. So if a client tells you that they no longer wish to accept marketing or they don't want to be part of your promos, you can turn that off. Or vice versa, if they come in and tell you that they're not receiving them, you can check that and turn that on if they'd like. Okay, and then you can also see down there at the very bottom where it says contact methods. This is where I can actually customize the contact method for confirmation. So whether it be text, SMS, email, phone, however they want to be contacted. And then over on the right-hand side, our birthday. Okay, so remember, if we want to be sending birthday email campaigns and things like that, we want to collect that information and put it in Shortcuts as well. Okay, any questions, you guys, about the client card and the extra information that I can store? Okay. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is the online CIC or the online client information card. Okay, so this is part of your Smart package. So you guys, if you log into your Smart console, you'll be able to see the little icon for client information. Okay, it does require a security PIN number, meaning that each user needs to be given access to log in. Okay, and it would be their Shortcuts PIN number. Okay, and I just want to show you how this works here. Okay, so remember this is something that if you have a tablet or an iPad or something, any mobile device in the salon or barbershop, you can actually hand this device to the client and have them update their own information. Okay, so instead of the old school way where we hand them a piece of paper and have them write it down, and then hopefully that transfers into shortcuts at some point, right? This way, we can actually hand it to the client, they fill it out on the tablet, and then once they save that, it syncs right down to shortcuts. Okay, so we're going to watch a little video here. So we need the PIN number to get in. Okay, and you can see it actually shows all the clients from the day. I can search for a client as well or add a new client. Okay, if I click hand to client and then I hand it to my guest, you can see here that she can go through and she can actually update any information that she'd like that's available through here. Okay, once she chooses save, since we're in the hand to client mode, you can see that it goes right back to the security pin. And again, that information synchronizes right down to the point of sale. Okay, whoops. All right, any questions about the online CIC? Now remember you guys, if you have our SMART package, you have access to this, and if you need help setting that up, just let our education team know. All right. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is checking for duplicate clients, okay? So this is a great way, obviously, that we can make sure that our database stays clean. Because sometimes what happens is we might be really busy and we might be searching for a client, maybe we don't find them. We know they've been here before, but we need to quickly add them in. So sometimes our users add duplicate clients. Also, when our clients book online or check in online, when they create their profile for the first time, it does create a new client file, but when it comes into the point of sale, if I'm checking for duplicate clients, we'll be able to merge those clients together. Okay, so again, we're just going to watch a little video here that walks us through making sure that the check for duplicate clients option is on, and then also what that screen looks like. Okay. All right, there we go. We're going to go into Setup. We're going to go into Configuration. We're going to go into the General menu, and then actually right into that General tab, and we just want to make sure that that check for duplicate clients is turned on. Okay, this is what the screen looks like when we review a client that has a duplicate client record, or we mark a client arrived that has a duplicate client record. You can see up here at the top it says keep this client, and then kind of down here in the middle it says merge with existing client and remove the duplicate entry. So keep this client means you want to keep the duplicate record because it is indeed a separate client. And then of course the middle one, merge with an existing client and remove the duplicate entry. So I would select that option, select Amy, and then choose done, and at that point it would merge them together. Okay, you guys, I can't stress enough how important this screen is. If your staff, your stylists, your barbers, your receptionists are just ignoring this screen, you're going to end up with quite a few duplicate records, and it's going to make it hard to track things like frequency of visit and client retention and things like that if we have all kinds of duplicate records. Okay. Any questions, you guys, about checking for duplicate clients? All right. Okay, so what do we do when we know that we do have duplicate clients? Okay, we have records that we need to merge. You can actually go into Shortcuts and into your client screen and actually do a merge search for clients. Okay. All right, so let's take a look here. So I go into the client screen and I select the merge button, okay? And then you guys, you can see down on the bottom we have the search option, we have the client card option, and the history. Okay, so when I select search, it gives me some options on what I want to match on when I'm doing a search. So I might do last name and mobile number. I might do first name and last name. So I have all different ways that I can do a search. Okay, I can also select a time period. Also, you can see it says perform duplicate checking on clients previously excluded from each other. Okay, so what that means is if I keep that box checked, it simply means that it will continue to include clients in merge searches that I previously excluded as not duplicate clients. Okay, so here you guys, you can see that I've gotten some results, okay, and it gives me the client details here, and it gives me information about how many visits and their last activity and first visited and all the information that I want to see here. Okay, so of course I want to take a look. Are their first names and last names the same? Are their phone numbers the same? If they are, I can likely merge these guys together. Okay, so I do have to choose one as the master, okay, and I would also then need to choose one as the record I'm going to include into the master. Okay, so you can see here that we have chosen this as the master, and then I'm going to go through and choose all the other ones to include. The other thing, you guys, is if you're choosing a record as the master, but there is some information in the record you're including into the master that you want to keep, okay, for instance, this email address, if I right-click against it, I can choose copy email to master. Okay, then I'm going to perform my merge, okay, by clicking the merge button. Okay, and then I get this message. So it basically tells you that please ensure all master clients are up to date before proceeding, as card details, address, club, customer, so on fields will not be merged, so you need to make sure they're up to date, right? So copying that email address as well. Client merge should only be performed outside of business hours. The reason why we say this, you guys, is any terminal that Shortcuts is running on, when you do a merge, it will close Shortcuts down and then you will need to restart it. So you don't want to do that in the middle of a busy day. Okay, and then I would just hit yes to proceed with my merge after that. Okay, and then what it does is it just takes a moment, and then once the merge is complete, it will close Shortcuts for you. And then basically it will take you back to your home screen, and then you can restart Shortcuts. And so you'd just be able to reopen it at that point. Okay, any questions about merging clients? Okay. All right, so you guys, we also just want to mention a few key reports that will help you track how accurate you are with your client data. Okay, so these are all, if you go into Tools, Reports, and under the Client section, they're all in the Client section. And the three that we're talking about today are the Client Card Accuracy, the Client Demographics, and then the Referral Activity Report. Okay, so the client card accuracy, so this is a report showing the completeness of client information for marketing purposes. This includes client card complete, mobile phone numbers, email addresses, and more. Okay, client demographics is a graphical view of client demographics grouped by age, gender, suburb, occupation, and club. So we might sort this by gender to see how we're tracking that information. Okay, and then the referral activity is a report giving information on referrals for a specified date range. So basically we can see the traffic and the referral types over a certain date range. Okay, so let's take a look at those reports. Okay, so the first one here is the client card accuracy report. Okay, and basically you just run it based upon whatever day it is today, and it'll give you the statistics on your data that you have. Okay, so it'll tell us how many cards complete, 0, how many home addresses, postcodes, phone numbers. Obviously the most important ones now, you guys, is probably the mobile phone or cell phone as well as the email address. Okay, So you can see here I have 86% on my mobile phone and 90, almost 74% on my email address, so not too bad there. Okay, and then you guys, you can see the details next to each of those percentages as well, and if you click on that, that's what gives you this detail over here on the right-hand side. If I want to see which clients I don't have this information for. Okay, so that's your client card accuracy report. Okay, obviously you guys, one of the ones that is really important as well is the card complete. So we do want to make sure that after we're capturing client details from the client that we're actually going in and marking that card complete. Okay, the client demographic. So as I said, we might sort this by gender. You can also sort by age group or occupation. Probably gender is the most relevant here. So you can see here that it'll tell you what percentage of your database is unknown, meaning we haven't actually put a gender in, what percentage is female, and what percentage is male. Okay, and then it'll give me a breakdown as well. Okay, obviously your numbers, you'll have many more customers than that. But you guys, this will give us some information based upon, like I said, gender, age group. Now, if you're the type of salon or barbershop that likes to market to men or women differently based upon, you know, their gender, maybe we want to send the "it's time to see you again" to men sooner than we want to send it to women. So if that's important to you, these are the kind of things that you need to be tracking in your database. Okay, so that's the client demographic report. Okay, and then the last report here that we want to talk about is the referral activity report. Okay, so this one, we didn't have a whole lot of data in the database we were using, so we did have to run this over quite a large date range. However, you guys, you can actually run this for any time period that you like. So maybe on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, just to see how these guys are doing for you. Or specifically, if you have some new type of referral method or some new type of marketing or promoting that you're doing and you want to see how well that referral activity is doing, then you can run the report more regularly. Okay, but it'll break it down for me and really tell me, you know, where my referrals are coming from. It'll also tell me if I'm not really specifying a referral method. Okay, so that's the referral activity report. Any questions about those reports? All right. Okay, so you guys, just a summary of what we've covered today. So we talked about the importance of collecting accurate client information, which I know you already all know, but I just wanted to talk about and have a little review there. How to use the online CIC to allow clients to enter and update their own data. So you guys, again, if you have our SMART package and this is something you aren't using, the education department would be happy to help you set that up. We also should know now how to ensure your client's details are always up to date by checking for duplicates, doing merges when we need to. So how to enable and check for duplicate client records, and also how to do our client merge. Okay, and then the key reports that will help you to maintain your data. Okay. All right, so that brings us to our Q&A section. So you guys, of course, we always have time for questions. Okay, so if anybody has questions, and it looks like I have some coming through here. Okay, so Neil, that might be a specific to your database. So that might just be something that you want to just talk to our help desk about. It sounds like maybe your database has phone number formatting on, so it wants it in a certain format. Okay. And Anna, yes, thank you for pointing out. You do say you do see that it says today you have learned. So this did come from our friends in Australia. So yes, it should be learned. Thank you. Okay, other questions that we have about collecting client information. Anna has a question, or excuse me, Anne. Where do I go to change the frequency of miss you emails? And that is actually done in your set and forget marketing. So you'll go to GCast, which is gcast.com.au. Okay. While we're taking more questions, I do just want to go and remind you guys that we do have our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com /shortcutsusa. Okay, and on there we now have training videos. So things like the merging client video and customizing your new client layout to update your mandatory fields, the client card alert, adding a new client, all of those videos are now on our YouTube. So if at any time you want to go and reference that, or you just want to review on how to do a client merge, you can go and you can find those on our YouTube channel. Okay, so you can even just go to youtube.com and search for Shortcuts USA. Okay. Okay, and of course, I always want to invite you guys to our next webinar. So that's going to be on a Tuesday again. So it's going to be Tuesday, May 31st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so 10 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Central, and 12 o'clock Eastern. Okay, and it's time-saving appointment book tricks. Okay, so we're just going to talk about, well, you can see the fastest ways to reschedule client appointments, grouping clients on the appointment book, how to effectively manage the wait list, and then the different ways you can view upcoming appointments. Okay, and remember you can always register for our future webinars at shortcuts.net/webinars. And you guys remember that these webinars will always be recorded as well, and they go up into the webinar library. So that's just shortcuts.net/webinars/webinars-library. Okay, and if anybody still has a question, we'll hang out for a couple more minutes here. Okay, but while we do that, I just want to put up the information here on how to contact the education team if you have questions about what we talked about today, or if you want help setting up the online CIC. Okay, so remember you can always get a hold of us at education@shortcuts.net, on our Facebook page, and of course there's always information on our website, or if you just want to call and talk to somebody, there's the local 714 number to us or the 866 toll-free number. Emily, yes, this will go up on the YouTube channel, and I can also send you the link once it's uploaded. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining today. Thanks for taking the time to come to the webinar about making sure that we keep a clean database. Again, if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out to the education team or post them up on our Facebook page, and we'll get back to you on those. And we hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.